Mark chapter 6, verses 35 to 39. My message is from nothing to something. In this text, I want to focus on two verses. Number 35 is the first one, where the disciples come unto him and say, it is a desert place, and now it is too late. The first thing is, they're telling Jesus that here it is a deserted place. 5,000 people are sitting hungry and waiting for food, and we have nothing. Send them back home. We know that a desert is a place which is dry, there's no water, there's no food, and everybody reject it. But Jesus says in verse number 39, so beautifully, he says, make them to sit down. I love this text because when there is nothing, Jesus is telling, 5,000 people are hungry. It's a desert. There's nothing. Still make them sit down because I am here. Amen. In other words, there may not be food, there may not be water, there may not be education, there may be nothing in your life, but Jesus says, if you can sit in my presence, you will have everything. From nothing, you will get something. Amen. Jesus says, I know you have nothing, my son. Brother, I have no qualification. Brother, I have no education. Brother, I have no future. Brother, I have no job. Brother, I have no money. I want to tell you, you have nothing. But if you sit and sit and sit and sit in the place where Jesus is there, I promise you, even a desert will blossom. Amen. Even a desert will blossom. Isaiah chapter 35 verses 1 and 2 says, the desert and the dry lands will blossom in the presence of my God. What we need today is to sit in the presence of God day and night. Sometimes I come here in this place and I sit down. I just sit and pray and seek the presence of God. Many a times people walking into this place, they're touched. There'll be healings, there'll be miracles, there'll be signs and wonders because of the presence of God. Amen. Psalm 16 verse number 11, your presence, in your presence there is fullness of joy. There was a time when my hall closed down in the old age home, and I had no place to conduct these meetings, and I had no place. I used to sit in the presence of God in a small 10 by 10 room and pray and pray and pray, and the more I sat in his presence, the desert started to bloom and miracles started to happen, and God gave us this beautiful place. Today, if you are going through struggles, today, if you are going through a dry situation where your life seems to be like a desert, so dry, rejected by everybody, I've come to tell you, Jesus says, sit down in my presence, sit down in my presence, sit and pray, sit and seek my face. The more you sit and sit and sit in his presence, I want to tell you that the desert will start to bloom and your life will never be the same again. Take a decision today. Lord, I want to sit in your presence day and night. I love this passage in Numbers chapter 17 verses 8 and 9. And it came to pass that on the morrow Moses went into the tabernacle, and behold, the rod of Aaron, which was kept in the tabernacle in the presence of God, was budded, brought forth buds, and bloomed, and yielded almonds. Just imagine, this is a dry rod. Aaron's rod. It was so dry, it had no roots. Can you see, does this have roots? No. No roots. No connection. No hope. I want to talk to someone who has no roots today. Brother, I have no family. I have no connection, nobody to connect with me, to draw out of. No parents, no husband, no wife. I have no roots, no one to help. I want to tell you, friends, this rod of Aaron started to get buds and leaves. And not only buds, it started to get flowers and became fruitful with almonds. Today maybe you are saying to me, brother, my life is so dry, there's no more hope for me. I've come to tell you, just sit in the presence of God and this dry rod will begin to bloom. Your life will begin to bloom. Your life will blossom and become fruitful in the presence of God. That is why Jesus is telling the disciples, make them sit. Amen. Just make them sit. Because when you are placed in the presence of God, I will give you full hope. Desert will begin to blossom. The presence of God can transform your life. Today the message for you, my dear friend, is don't go running in circles. Maybe you're running and running and running after the world, running to influential people, running to your friends. Stop running and start sitting in the presence of God. And I promise you, your dried life will bloom again. It is so beautiful to sit in the presence of God. And when you sit and sit and sit in the presence of God, dry, deserted lives will once again bloom for the glory of God.